Hello and welcome to our today's tutorial. We are moving on with our topic, that is emergency procedures for the vulnerable workers. In our today's tutorial, we are going to discuss the continuation of the categories of vulnerable workers. In our previous tutorial, we discussed two categories of vulnerable workers. If I may go through them very quickly, we discussed on the workers with physical disabilities or mobility impaired, and we gave their solution. What should be done? What is the procedure that needs to be done? What is the personal emergency evacuation plan for these categories of vulnerable workers? We went ahead on the second tutorial. On the second tutorial, we said the workers with the sensory impairment, and that is those with the visual and hearing problems. And we also gave the PEP, the personal emergency evacuation plan for these categories of people. Now, in our today's tutorial, we are going to talk about the young and inexperienced workers. The young workers in a workplace, we said there are so many hazards that they are exposed to. One of it is that these categories of people are easily influenced by the peer pressures, by the peer pressure. When they work in groups, they may end up not following the right procedures, not able to follow the health and safety measures, which is aligned in order to protect them from any danger. And that is one of the great hazards. Number two, they may be willing to show the employer or the superior or the supervisor that they are willing to work. They are willing to show that they are willing to work without compromising any kind of hazard situation. If they are assigned to conduct a certain task and that task put them in danger, they may fail to stand to say the truth that this kind of work activity is putting me in danger if and it doesn't or it lacks the proper safety measures. Because they don't have that confidence, they are always going to be put in danger, and that is one of its disadvantage. Number three, this kind of group, that is the young and inexperienced workers, they lack the proper perception of hazard and risks. The way you see the work area, the work environment, and the types of hazard which are present is not the way the new and inexperienced workers can identify the hazard and can interpret them to be danger to their environment. So in our today's tutorial, we're going to discuss what we are going to see what are the personal emergency evacuation plan for this group, for the young and inexperienced workers. So the lack of risk perception or panic due to unfamiliarity with the building layout. So during emergency, you may find that the young and inexperienced workers, they start to panic because they are not familiar with the building layout or the premise layout or the plant or the workplace layout. They don't know which exit route to use. And even if they know, due to the panic, they may end up putting themselves in danger. Instead of running away from the danger, they are running towards the danger due to the panic. Number two, they lack the perception. Whatever you see as danger might not be exactly how this new worker see it and interpret it. Therefore, what should be done? Number one, provision of proper supervision. Provision of proper supervision or proper supervision should be provided. A strict requirement to remain intact with a superior or a senior employee should be put in place. this new worker should always work along their seniors or their supervisors or mentors, the ones that guides them in the activities that is taking place in the workplace. They should never be left alone in the workplace, because during emergencies, they may end up making the wrong decision, which will put them in danger. Next thing is provide them with the training. So the new and inexperienced workers, they should be provided with the right training regarding the hazard and risk in the workplace, and how they may evade or how they may evacuate from the building easily and simple without putting themselves in danger. Within their first week, there should be a mandatory training or orientation that should be conducted to them, so that they become familiar with the workplace and they become aware of the hazards which are present in their workplace. On the same note, orientation drills that will enable them to practice and know exactly what to do during a fire alarm or during emergency situation. This should also be put in place. Number 3 is simplicity, and that is a clear color-coded signages which are marked and direct people to the assembly point should be in place. So the health and safety department should consider putting the right signages directing people to the assembly point and ensuring that all the exit routes have got signages. So these signages should be clear enough so that they can easily direct the people without the need of manpower. And that marks the end of our today's tutorial. As we move on with this topic, in response to the inquiry in the comment section, we are almost completing this topic, and therefore, if you are learning, if you are getting something, if you are benefiting from the knowledge from these tutorials, let me know in the comment section. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always here for you, and especially for those NEBOSH students, those who are undergoing the training right now, or those who already completed but they are waiting for their examination. You can as well ask any question, and I may be in a position to assist you where necessary. Thank you very much, and let's meet in the next video.